encourage you to do. Anytime you just have somebody up in front of the room that's making the kind of money you want to make and even more than what you want to make, you want to find yourself taking notes. So that being said, I'm going to have our first speaker, one of the top earners in the entire company, and she's going to be sharing about some of the things she's doing to help her build a business. Let's give her for Silver Associate, Mr. Nard Nelson.
Today, can you guys see this, Harvey? I brought a chair. Why did I bring a chair? Because this represents my husband who's not here. And the thing I love about 7K is it's given me hope for the future for my husband and I. So he will be retiring in June next year, and we will be doing this together. I see great role examples, Jay and Colleen Lee, and this is something, I mean, 7K Metals has been, I'll tell you my other story in the beginning, but I mean, it's opened up my world so much, and I can't believe it, and it's just for the better. So even though my husband's not here, he works every weekend, he will be here by my side, and he doesn't have to be here to build a business. And that's what I love, I just definitely love that aspect of it. I do real estate here in Kalispell, and I sold some land to Richard Hansen, who is one of the founders who had brought all the 7K stuff together. And I spent so much time with Richard. We were looking at 160 acre lots, and everywhere, you get tired of hiking those, and we go eat, and everywhere you go, he's throwing silver in people's hands, like Dee, she's a waitress, and she'd be like, hey, have you seen this? And I can't believe I don't have a tube of silver. But anyways, and I started noticing the people going, what is this? And I'm like, well, that's weird. Wonder why. I loved silver dollars when I was a kid. Our uncle gave them to us all the time. So I started looking at it, and I'm like, what happened to our silver dollars? And our dad's even a pawn shop owner, so we're like, wow, that's just so weird. And I went and took him to my son's in the Navy, or was in the Navy. He's 30 years old. He knew what a silver dollar was. But my daughters, they're both in, one's at Cabela. She works at Cabela's, and they had no idea. One's 24, one's 27. They had no idea what it was. And I'm like, what is going on with this world? So one thing I did do is I made you guys all a packet, and I started researching it. And I didn't realize it became illegal to own silver and gold in the United States. So I went ahead and printed this for you, a copy of the decree. It was a $10,000 fine during the Dust Bowl, during the Great Depression, and that's when they made the mints. They took all the silver and gold, made it illegal for us to own it, lowered it to like $20 an ounce, and created the mints. So I'm like, well, that's what happened to our silver and gold. Like, why? That explains it. So I started just researching things more. And as I did, it was just making so much sense to me. The other thing that I gave you a copy of is the shopping cart and inflation. And when I started seeing examples of just like that car, that Mustang, what an ounce of silver can buy today compared to $1, I'm like, well, this is a simple no-brainer. I mean, it just makes, to me, it just made so much sense. So, so I printed these out for you. The other thing that I printed out for you is we have a great website, and I'm not a professional marketer. I've never been one, but what I did do is, Kari, can you come up here? So the first thing I did when I signed up to 7K Metals is we literally drove to Idaho Falls. We heard about it was going to happen. We drove there. My husband and I drove there, signed up. I brought one of my friends with me, and I signed up my husband, and I signed up my sister. This is my sister, Kari Martell. So I want to show you guys how easy this is, though. You don't have to get 100 people. I mean, 7K Metals literally made it easy for us. And like when they say 2 people, literally 2 people helping 2 people. I got one on my right, which is not here right now, but Jeff, he's my husband, and my sister. And from there, then we got 2 more people. So we got Miss Susie Keats. You want to come up? And then we got Miss Jen Prunty. And as this is growing, once we get 500 points on each side, we all get a $500 check. So now we have Cindy Medea. Dawn Marie, can you come up? DJ. Liz, do you want to come up over here? So we got 5 on each side. So each time we sell a membership, we get 100 points. That's what we do. We sell a membership. So I understood this, and I could grasp this. And one thing that I absolutely loved, and this is, like I said, I was a non-professional marketer, and I still am, but this, I get 100 points for me, she gets 100 points when we sell it, Jen, Cindy, Liz, that makes 500 points on my one side. That's done. And the great thing is, when anybody signs it below them, it all goes up. I mean, there's no end or stop to it. And at the end of the year, when we renew our memberships, to me, this just blew me away, that we get paid, we don't get paid again, we get the points again. So there's never an end to this cycle. So no one's ever left out. When I looked at some network marketing things and I've heard about them, I'm like, I've heard the same cliches, or I call it a cliche. First, it's a pyramid. Second, the bottom people, always the first people get the money and everybody's left out. Guess what? Roger Ball and this group of men that did this group of people, definitely thought of everything and changed the rules. So whenever anybody says that they know about this or anything, and that's why we are totally breaking records right and left. I love getting on the phone calls. We have so much support. We have the Zoom meetings, and when we're having our meeting this Monday, and it's going to be a big meeting, and but we have so much education that you can do it. Like Colleen said, we can do this by ourselves, but if we work together, it goes fast. And like what I have here, so if I added Harvey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
You got Jeff too.
Oh, you got Jeff. You got my invisible husband. Look that's my whole team. That's all. That's even if I did it by myself. That's all I need for 2 checks on both sides. And look at these people I'm helping as we go. And that's what to me is absolutely phenomenal and beautiful about this. Another thing that I love about 7K Metals is people help people. And I do real estate, and sometimes there's not a lot of help in that, to be honest with you. And this one, there's the training, there's so much training we have, but there's people like Colleen Lee that will get up here and share her secrets. And she's sincere and true. Like when we went to Dallas, and they get up there and they say what they do. And you get to see them. I love Facebook. We get to see, I mean, they're doing phenomenal things. That group has grown. And it's growing big. This company is really growing. We are getting momentum. So if you guys haven't been on the phone calls or anything, get back engaged and get into this, because this is, to me, this is the opportunity of our lifetime. My sister and I, we've told you we're from Libby, and it's a depressed area. Look at, now we get to retire. We get to actually retire. We're going to have money to retire. And how did that happen? If we want to go travel, and the tax deductions of a home-based business, to me, it is absolutely phenomenal. So, I mean, it's almost like a dream company, a dream come true company. You can do whatever you want with it. You can do as little as you want or as much as you want. But we win no matter what we do, because we're getting physical silver and gold at the very best price in the world. It's never been duplicated, and it's something like my kids my son, is in the Navy and stuff, and I just feel we went through the 2008 real estate crash, and it's scary. It seems like it's coming again. I see the same patterns coming again, and this time we have some protection, and we can actually pull ourselves out of this instead of sinking down. And when Roger Ball said that those are his missions, to bring middle class back to America, he said he does missions all over the world, and to get physical silver and gold in his hands, I believed him with 100% of my heart. And I do believe that this is so doable. It's so doable, and I just want everybody to do it. So thank you guys for helping me. I appreciate it. So my point was that a non-professional marketer can do this, and I kind of went by the company's rules and scrambled, but there is a better way. It used to be Tony's name. I found a better way, but it's I just can't say enough for the people who do step up and that are leaders that really do help us. So without further ado, I would like to welcome Miss Colleen Lee, and she has been so instrumental in the growth of the 7K Metals Company.
Are you leaving Jeff up there?
Jeff's gonna go away. Yay.
Speak up, Colleen.
Microphones make me nervous. TVs make me nervous. Crowds make me nervous. But
What do you do on one-on-one?
I'm great on one-on-one.
Then that's what
my
you're
comfort
doing.
zone is one-on-one. I don't know why, but it is. But I think because I was a dental assistant for 28 years and it was always just me and her or him or whatever. We could
Pretend
have a
you're on the phone.
conversation. Yeah. And so anyway, I came into network marketing, like I say, I saw the really value in the gold and silver. We wanted to collect a little bit, but as we walked with Pastor Sharon for a year, because I told her, I said, Pastor Sharon, I have no idea what we're doing, but let's run with it for a year, and if it works, we're good. If it doesn't, we've lost what, $250? Piece of cake. Because Jay and I were just in the position and setting ourselves up to spend over about $500,000 to buy a coffee shop. And we looked at this and we looked at 7K Metals and we're like going, well, let's do the 250. And so we did, and we're so thankful because with 7K Metals, if we go bankrupt, we lost $250. If we go bankrupt in a coffee shop, we lost over $500,000, and that just did not sound fun. Plus you have the overhead of all the employees and the blah, and it just went on and on and on. And we're like going, let's give this a shot. But we met Roger Ball, Zach Davis, and Josh, and after we met them and saw their hearts and their integrity and their character, we cannot lose in this business. No way. When I sat knee to knee and eye to eye with Roger Ball, and he looked at me and he said, Colleen, he says, we're gonna make something huge here. And again, with like Denon Nelson, I believe with all my heart that that's what they're really gonna do. They're gonna help us be successful. They didn't have to, but they're going to. So if you grab onto their shirt tails, you grab into this company, you catch that vision, there ain't nothing stopping you. Really isn't. And so anyway, that's my story. I truly have a passion for 7K Metals because, again, I can look at the Hagels and I can look at some people out here that I've personally seen growth in, and it will change your life. It will absolutely change your life. A year and a half ago, I couldn't stand up here and really tell you how I felt because I was a nervous wreck. I'm a nervous wreck still, but I have more confidence not only in myself, but in truly what this company has brought to the table for us. And so that's my passion. And for Tony Hubbard to take the time and the effort and away from his life and his lifestyle and his family blows me away, because who does that? My boss wouldn't have done it. Of 28 years, he wouldn't have traveled around with me and said, Colleen, let's go make you successful. He wouldn't have done that. He'd have looked at me and went, yeah, no, not for me. I'm a dentist because I want to wash you. But anyway, I just love this company. So when I was asked to say, Dana says, well, will you teach us how you have become more successful? I went, what do I do? I think because I have such a passion to help people coming out of the dental field, because that's what I did. I helped people, one, feel comfortable. Two, every person that goes in the dental field and sits in that chair, they're a nervous wreck. So I learned to connect with them, to make them comfortable, and to make them feel safe. So I think that carried through with 7K Metals. I believe that most people talking to somebody about network marketing, they're like, nah, not gonna do that. But I transfer that into, okay, they're just afraid. They don't know the unknown in network marketing, or they've had a bad experience. So now I take that and just turn it into like a dental issue. So now I know how to make them feel comfortable that this network marketing company is not gonna rip them off. They're not gonna have to spend a ton of money, and if I can show them an outcome that's going to be good, if it looks good, feels good, and lasts a long time, guess what? They're sold. Not that I'm trying to sell them, but they're comfortable about what I'm showing them and what I'm talking about. So I connect with people in a way that, one, I mirror them. If they're real fearful, then I just kind of make them feel more comfortable. And if they're really exuberant, I've always kind of learned in the dental field that mirror somebody, because if you're real hyper and they're just low key, then they're just like going, get away from me. But if you're mirroring, say DJ's real calm and quiet, so I'm gonna be calm and quiet. But Dee, she's real excited and she just loves being here and everything's all excited. Well, so am I gonna be that way, because she's comfortable with me now, because she thinks, oh, this girl's cool. Same way with DJ. If I'm nice and relaxed, she's like, okay, I can be nice and relaxed. So now we're relating in just feelings. It's not even what I'm saying, it's the feelings that they get. So I think being a dental assistant really has expedited my success in 7K Metals because of working with people. And so now when I build my team, what I do is I have Pastor Sharon on my right, and Brad Bickle and Tracy Simeon on my left or something like that. This left and right and down and up and all that, I don't get. I just put them somewhere, you know. And so what I have done with them was exactly what I learned in dentistry. Teach someone what I know. Because when I teach someone what I know, then they have that same success. So Tracy and Pastor Sharon, I taught them the little that I knew about network marketing. But I had an amazing opportunity because Zach Davis called me and he said, Colleen, I want to mentor you in this so that you'll have success. So everything that he told me, I wrote down and I gave it to Brad and I gave it to Sharon and I gave it to Tracy. Those three people are so successful in this business, it's crazy. They're bronzes, all three of them are bronzes. And so I know that it's duplicatable because I didn't know what I was doing. But what Zach and what Dr. Spencer, they knew what they were doing. I just passed that through me to them, and those people are successful. So it doesn't matter where you're at, just find, just like Tony has said, Zach has said, I think Diane Graber might have even said it too, is find that mentor that has had success and build from there. And then you will pass it on. Maybe, like I said, I don't have that. What is it? I'm not smooth as silk as Tony. But I watch him and I know that what he teaches, I can duplicate that. I can't be Tony. I can't be Richard. I can't be all, you know, Richard's just like over the top. I can't duplicate that. I don't care how hard I try. I can't duplicate that. And I can't duplicate, but I can duplicate their message. And so that's what I get out of all of this. And so if you can duplicate the message that Roger Ball has, that Zach Davis has, and that Josh has, and Tony, we win, you guys. They're standing up here with the message. Let's take it to everybody that we talk to. And I had one little kid say, he come up to me, not young, a little kid, but to me he is. He goes, Colleen, I want to be like you. And I said, just talk to everybody you know. Well, I can talk to everybody. I said, okay then, I'll talk me. Because really, that's what you have to do, is send that message to everybody. Don't try to sell them something, but give them that message, that 7K, what 7K Metals is. And so when I sign somebody up, once they have trusted me in my message, now and they're a member, then I sit down with them. The minute they become a member, whether they're on the phone or in person, then I open up their website, show them everything. I ask them first permission. I always say, do you have 20 minutes? They'll say, yeah, sure, okay. I want to walk through your website real quick with you. It's just going to be a little blitz, but at least you'll kind of know how to manage through it when you go home or while you're sitting there in the quiet of your home. So I walk through their website, show them everything that I can in that 30 minutes, and then I turn them loose. But I turn them loose with a piece, and I didn't bring that, I should have. But I show them all the meetings that we're having in Billings, all the phone call numbers, all the website stuff, so that they, even if they can't get to the website, they got their piece of paper that they can get on the calls, the websites, the Zooms, the meetings, everything. My number, Diane's number, and corporate support number. So they're set, whether they get in their back office or not, doesn't matter. They can get plugged in. And so I tell my leaders, plug your people in. And then once they're plugged in, I'll say, I give them 3 instructions. 1, the associate training, I want you to watch that before you call me. 2, I want you to watch the buyer certification before you call me. Then when they call me, guess what they'll tell me?
I'm ready.
What's the first thing that you do when you watch those 2 things?
Get them on the phone.
No,
Your list.
your list. If they don't mention their 100-name list,
Right.
they don't watch them.
There you go.
Okay, so now I tell them again, go back and finish watching the associate training and the buyer certification thing. So then they go back and they go, okay, yeah, I didn't quite finish it and blah, 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 you know. So then they'll call me again, okay, I got them, I got my 100 name list and I'm ready to go, what do I do next? That's their question. If they haven't watched them, they will never, ever, ever say that. If they have watched them, that's their first thing they tell me, I got my 100 name list ready. So then I say, okay, now you're gonna start making calls. When they start asking you questions, you say, you know what, I just started this business, I really don't know the answers to that, but let me put one of my leaders on that's in the business and is successful. I do a 3-way call with them, now they're walking with that person. They duplicate exactly what I did. So if you can get just like Tony says, if you can get a system in place, a 17-year-old, a 6-year-old can walk through this. I have grandkids that walk around saying exactly what I say on a 3-way call. I have a granddaughter going, yeah, do you want to join 7K Metals? Yeah, sure, you bet, we can do that. Oh, you want gold? Do you like gold? Wow, that's awesome. I like silver. You know, so I know that people will listen to us. And then Mike is, I'm sorry.
Let me talk to those kids.
They will talk your ear off. And so that's what I do, is I just take that message that people with experience have, and I duplicate that. So what else do I, there's some other things. And I try to be, and one gentleman told me, he sat down and I asked him, I said, so what do you think that I do good? And he said, Colleen, you're authentic. He says, when I talked to you about 7K Metals, I saw 2 things, that you were authentic and that you were passionate about what you did. And he said, I believed you. And so don't be afraid to ask some of your teammates, what do I do good? Or what can I change? Because they're gonna help you. Even if it's constructive criticism, it's good, because now you're gonna grow. And if you don't grow, then your team can't grow. So I think it's so important to just maybe look back and say, I mean, a year and a half ago, Tony could probably attest to this, but a year and a half ago when my first talk, I had no idea what I was going to say, and I sounded like a babbling idiot, I'm sure. but I knew that I knew that I was in the right place with the right people, with the right product, and I wasn't going to lose. And the only thing I was going to lose was $250, and I spend that on shoes. I'm silver, remember? No, I'm kidding. Actually, I asked the guy that, he goes, well, I need to go ask my wife to make sure it's okay, that $250. And I looked down at him, I said, would you pay for those boots? And he goes, okay, I'll sign up.
Yes, I like it.
So you just be you, you know, and $250 is, yes, to some people, that's a big, big deal. But for most people, it's not. It really is not. And even $100 a month. I mean, Denon Nelson, she has a real estate practice. That's big money. You have to invest a lot of money and a lot of time into that. Absolutely. We spend $250 a year. We have no overhead. We don't have to buy toilet paper for the world. We don't have to buy cups and coffee. And we spend $100 a month. And guess what? We get to keep it.
Yes.
What's wrong with that?
And it's tax deductible.
Yeah, well, you don't even have to throw that in, because just that alone, because I don't go into the tax thing, because then I get all these questions that I can't answer, don't answer, and it's illegal for me to answer, so I don't even go there. I just tell them my heart. I talk to them about the business, and it's $250. What do you spend in a week? Just a week of $250. It's gone. So I just make it real. And so my team, if you talk to most of my team members, they'll probably sound just like me, because we duplicate from Zach, Josh, Roger, Tony, me, Colleen's team. That's what it looks like. It's duplicatable because 7K made it duplicatable. So I would just encourage all you guys to, again, I listen to these guys. Every time Tony talks, I record him. Every time Zach and all the associate trainings and they talk, I record them, and I'll just sit and I'll study them and see how they talk about the business, not so much as who they are, but what do they talk about when they talk about their business. That's what we wanna talk about. So that's what I do, that's what I duplicate. I'm available. I know a lot of people work, and so I say Dee works full-time, and she's, one of my personals, and she's got 5 people over here, but she can't manage all the calls and all the stuff that she needs to do, working a full-time job. I flag all that for them. I say, while you're at work, and if you got stuff going on, you have them call me. So I help her build her team. So if people are working full-time on my team, I take all their daytime calls and all their stuff that while they're at work, and so I help manage all of that for them too. And so that, because I don't work, well, I work 7K Metals, but it's a different work. This is fun. And I'm good on the phone. I can talk on the phone all the time. But because I was in the dental field, that's what I did. I was on the phone all the time. I did all the recalls, I did all this and all that, and so I learned how to do that. So I do it well. And so, and I think another thing is be true to yourself, because if you're not sold out on 7K Metals, you're not gonna sell anybody else out either.
That's right.
So you have to be true and sold out on 7K Metals, but be true to yourself first. If you're still kind of not sure this is where you want to be, so are the people you're gonna talk to. They're gonna go, well, she doesn't seem, they're gonna feel that vibe.
That's right.
So you have to be true to 7K Metals, but true to yourself first.
Absolutely.
So you evaluate where you're at, so that they know when you're talking to somebody new, they're gonna know that you're all into this deal, because we are network marketing, and that's a tough gig to sell. I tried it once and I sucked miserably, but I wasn't sold out. It was supplements. How can I tell an unhealthy person, or even a healthy person, this supplement's gonna be really good for you, when I'm going, maybe, I don't know. So, and someone would say, well, what are you saying, I'm unhealthy? No, not at all. But that was the vibe they were getting from me, because I wasn't sold out. So I think that's important too. And top, I set goals. When I first came into 7K Metals, my goal was to be a better me. And so, because I came into 7K Metals to better Jay and our lifestyle, Jay's and mine. And Jay doesn't always sit beside me. He's empty sometimes too. He works a full-time job too, but his boss is very nice, and he lets him take off all the time he wants, because he just told him, my wife does this 7K Metals, and she travels and does a lot of stuff, and he goes, I go with her. He goes, okay. So his boss is nice that he gives him the time off and stuff, so that's pretty cool. Otherwise, he'd just quit.
Then he would have a heart attack on Monday morning.
Yeah, he'd have to have a heart attack. But he's very flexible, so you just make it work in your lifestyle, and I know a lot of people will watch us and think we're just on top of the world, but just like Dana said, there's times when, or like Zach was saying too, the nuts and the bolts fell off and whatever. We have our days too where we're like, oh, we have to do 7K Metals, we need one more sign up today. Oh, that's gonna suck. And so, it's not all a bed of roses. There's days when you're so sick and tired and knows you could just go, what am I doing here? Why am I doing this? But when you see your team text you and say, oh my gosh, I just made $1,000 check. Now, those no's, every one of those no's that I walked through was absolutely 100% worth it.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Absolutely.
So you keep going, because now I want to say a public figure, but not really, a 7K Metals figure.
There you go.
And so when Jay and I walk through it, they don't need to know all my dirty laundry. They just need to know that I struggle just like you guys do. I get up and I have crappy days, and I have crappy emotions sometimes, but you know what? The all in all is that we all are created to do something spectacular, and it's 7K Metals.
Absolutely.
So you guys just bear down, go through the garbage, because it's not gonna be fun all the way through it, because we got a good thing here. People are gonna be knocking down our doors. We're not gonna be able to keep up with it. You'll be going, where were those days when we just could sit back and go, it's just all no's. I don't know what to do with them. Now, all of a sudden we're gonna go, I'm not answering that phone call, you answer that phone call. No, I'm not gonna answer that phone call, you answer that phone call, because I believe when Zach told me, he said, Colleen, people are gonna be looking for you. So they are, and get prepared, get ready, go through the tough stuff first, because the good stuff's coming, okay? So I don't know if that helps you guys or not, but my heart is to take this to the world, not just Billings, Montana. We have just a little under 1 million people in Billings, and we're gonna rock New York with every one of them. So anyway, that's my deal.
All right, guys, we got lunch coming, in just a few minutes. And we're gonna break till about 12